Exactly is a collaborative activity, or as the paper put it, collaborative information retrieval, which is usually shortened to the easier to say abbreviation of CIR. Well, to give you the technical definition used in the article, CIR is an information access activity related to a specific problem-solving activity that implicitly or explicitly involves human beings interacting with other humans directly and or through text, e.g. documents, notes, and figures, as information sources, either in a specific workplace setting or in a more open community or environment. To put this even more simply in my own words, CIR is essentially a collection of the ways in which people, whether they're work employees or in some other type of situation, it's how they work together, share with one another, bounce ideas off each other, and communicate with one another in order to carry out certain tasks and to become just more effective and efficient in their job. By sharing, I don't just mean the colloquial sense. When you say something like, hey, I know this cool fact, I'm going to share it with you now, and I use your words to share that fact. But as the Hansen article talks about, there are actually different types of sharing. These include strategic, paradigmatic, directive, or social. And I won't get into what exactly all those mean here because they're already defined in the reading. But basically, it's important to keep in mind that sharing is a pretty crucial element of CIR, and there are different types of it. Additionally, as I mentioned on the previous slide, I read about a paper regarding a field study that examined collaborative activities observed in a patient care system, an emergency room. And one of the facts that I learned in that paper was that the most extensive study on this subject to date, and by that I mean on CIR, was a study conducted by a team of researchers from the University of Washington that studied the collaborative information retrieval practices of two design teams. One of them was from Boeing and the other was Microsoft, which I thought was pretty cool. And the researchers in these studies examined how team members actively work together to identify information needs. Not really surprisingly, they found that team members collaborated extensively when developing information seeking and retrieval strategies to address an information problem within the team. And the research also revealed factors such as communication patterns and work activities that influence the need for information and for collaboration during information retrieval, which basically this means there's a ton of evidence that CIR is an integral part of organizations, especially if those organizations want to be effective. Finally, I just want to direct everyone's attention to the link near the bottom of the PowerPoint slide. If you click on it, it will bring you to a site called the Answer Garden, and I think it's really cool. Actually, what you're seeing right now is a print screen of the site that you'd see if you click on it. One of the subjects that the authors of my article briefly talked about are computer-supported collaborative works. They're also called CSCWs, and they're basically just online or technological systems that aid or encourage collaboration in group or work settings. And they've been found to be helpful in supporting stuff like information sharing among group members or employees, or aiding organizational memory, which we already talked about earlier in the presentation. The Answer Garden is just one example of a computer-supported collaborative work system. You can try it out for yourself. It's free, and it's kind of fun to mess around with. And basically, if you ask it a question, by posting your question in the box, you go off from there, and I encourage you to give it a go. It's pretty fun.